I don't know how true that. It's like, for example, the dude who like ate a bat in the wet markets. Like,
Because they eat dogs.
I mean, I think it's a very specific group. I don't think it's very interesting. It's like I don't like it very much because I just don't think that those are. I don't. I'm a vegetarian. I don't think anyone should eat any animal. but it's like, but it's like I find what I find interesting is the discussion around it, and the reason I say the discussion around it is because, in my eyes, if you it's a lot of soldiers eventually eating its way to the politicians. Also, the dog would be. Oh God, um, it's so what I was going to say about that is that here's my argument about the animals people think are okay and not okay to eat. Right, I don't think any animal's okay to eat because I'm a vegetarian. Right. However,
Yeah.
what bothers me is where people draw the line. I'm like, technically, if you're willing to eat a cow, you should be willing to eat a cat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when it comes to eating animals, I think we need to keep it to pigs.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's like this is what I mean. Everyone's got these ideas about where the line should be drawn. Um, and personally, I'm against eating any animal. Um, but that means, in my eyes, that's one of the reasons I don't like the idea of eating animals is because of what I was just saying there about the uh,
Yeah.
the theoretical where there's a where do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean? Because like it's like you can't tell somebody that eating this animal is wrong, but you still eat other animals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there is still a line to that. Like,
I don't know. It's like I'm like
um,
this is me just having getting on my vegetarian perch for a second. It's like theoretically, if someone's fine to eat an animal, then we should be okay to eat people.
I wouldn't mind eating a person if I had to.
If I'm honest, I'd rather eat a person than an animal. It's like if I could willingly eat a bad person instead of an animal that's done nothing wrong, I'd rather do
Yeah,
that.
just yeah, I just go to the nearest person I don't like, nearest one of my friends I don't like.
Just a heads up, guys. Don't piss Lord Arbiter off. He will eat you.
It's better than eating like It's better than eating like non-normal things when we have to.
It's like I don't know. You see, I think this is just a conversation I like to have because I find it really interesting, like where people draw the line. Because there's some cultures, for example, that will eat things that we don't. I.e., there are some cultures that eat horse meat,
Oh God.
and there are some cultures where that's a okay, right? And there's some cultures where it's seen as disgusting.
Like here.
It's like over here, you would not tend to see someone eating horse deliberately. I mean, if you there was the fact that people were just using horse meat anyway because it's cheaper, but it's like that was a thing back in the early 2000s. I remember it very well,
Yeah.
and it's like a lot of companies were found to be using it. But again, it's about where do you draw the line? um, because I think to say that it's wrong to eat the meat of this animal is like, well, okay, but why is that any more wrong than say eating this other animal? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this is probably one of the reasons I ended up being a vegetarian because I was like, well, I also believe that if that again one of the other weird beliefs I have around the consumption of meat is that I believe that in order to eat the animal, you should be willing to hunt and kill it. Um, as in, like, it shouldn't come pre-packaged. If
Yeah.
But that's just me. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not telling people saying you're wrong if you disagree with me. I'm just saying that these are the problems I have with meat eating. Like, this is the problem I have with it. Um,
Yeah.
and these are the. I mean, aside from my religious views, meaning I shouldn't eat meat anyway. Um, it's like on top of that, these were the questions I had about it. That kind of like when I sat and thought about them, I was like, oh God. You know, and I started to realize that there's this imaginary line about what's edible and what isn't, but then also people have got sensitivities about eating certain animals but not others, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
I mean, humans are by no means like less edible than animals.
no, absolutely not. In fact, there's plenty of parts of the human body which are technically edible. Also think about this. Literally everything in the world is edible if you're brave enough.
If you're brave enough.
Like, what's stopping me going into my kitchen and eating a light bulb?
Uh,
Probably because I don't want to eat the light bulb. But the point I'm making is that
brain cells are stopping you.
that's true. But I'm just saying that, like, when someone goes, "Oh well, that's not." Do you eat fish? Are you pure? I'm pure vegetarian, klepto. I don't eat fish either.
I don't like. I've never liked fish.
It's like, so when I go for sushi, I go for vegetarian sushi. So people go, how do you go for sushi as a vegetarian? I just don't have any with any kind of meats in it. So fish or anything else. I just get the other one. So it's like, instead of tuna maki, I'll get avocado maki. Instead of the salmon nigiri, I'll get the what's it? The egg nigiri. You heard of the dude who ate a plane? Apparently, a dude ate a plane. No, I mean, I heard of a dude who ate a clock. I heard it was really time consuming. That was a very, very poor joke, by the way.
Yes.
I was watching this thing. It's about, I think it's called My Secret Addiction, and it's people who eat weird things. And there was this woman who ate the lining out of pillows, and
oh, My Strange Addiction.
yeah,
I ever watched Cinnamon Toast Ken react to it.
I would say I think there's like someone who eats pennies as well.
I haven't seen that. He's not reacted to that one. He's reacted to the one that drinks gasoline.
It's like, you're literally asking. Oh, there's a dude who actually ate a plane. It's like, you're literally asking to die at that point, aren't you? Let's be real. If you drink gasoline, it's like you're not exactly of sound mind, I would say.
There is one woman who sniffed gasoline like 10 times a day.
I mean, that's not a strange addiction. That's literally just a solvent addiction. Like, because of the solvents in the gasoline, you can get high off it. So it's like people who used to people who sniff glue or people who sniff paint. It's the same thing with gasoline.
Yeah.
It's because there's something in it that's addictive.
And she even had in the video. She even admitted to not to forget to begin to forget things. I wonder why.
That'll be the brain damage from huffing gasoline.
Yes.
It's
10 times on a daily basis for like many years.
It's like me going, I don't understand what's wrong with me. Then drinking a jug of varnish.
And guess what? The reason for starting was
What?
apparently she said in the video a father asked her as a kid if she wanted to sniff gasoline, and that got her hooked.
I've smelt petrol before because I've been to the petrol station with my mum and dad, but I don't go around smelling petrol. I don't walk down to the local petrol station, which is only 5 minutes away, and go.
I also thought she did. So she had like small plastic bottles all over the house full of gasoline, with gasoline in, and she even carried gasoline in a pocket or a handbag.
God help her. God
so
help.
She could sniff on the go.
God help her if she has a house fire.
No, right. So in each room there was one small bottle of gasoline. So it was a sniff.
Can you imagine if she had a house fire? That house would fucking go up like the 4th of July. It would be a massive explosion. It'd be like, oh, I just dropped my candle. You'd be able to see the explosion from space. Jesus Christ.
she was even sniffing on the go.
It's like, does she
in
actually want?
public.
Does she want to die, or is?
Oh no, I think she stopped now because she even went to see a doctor about in video.
It's like, you know, it's like, why don't you just get a normal addiction like crack or nicotine? I mean, what? I mean, I'm addicted to nicotine. I know that. I use an e-cig though. I don't tend to smoke, but you know, I have addictions. I'm addicted to caffeine. I'm addicted to nicotine, but those are fairly common and, you know, don't tend to kill people. Smoking does, but that's why I use an e-cig rather than a cigarette. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because I mean, it's come out in, like, even Public Health England has said they're less harmful than cigarettes.
Until one explodes in your face.
Well, yeah, but it's like the alternative is smoking cigarettes, which could set you on fire if you like fell asleep with one in your mouth. And also, secondhand smoking with cigarettes is not good because you can make people like, you know, that you put other people at risk if you smoke around them and they don't smoke. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, I got used to all that when my dad smoked.
Like, don't get me wrong, when I go to the pub I buy cigarettes because I don't want my e-cig when I'm drunk, I'll be honest. Because I used to be a smoker. I used to smoke 20 cigarettes a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that was just because at the time I got addicted to cigarettes. I was having a very bad time in my life, so I got easily addicted.
That'll do it.
I got addicted to smoking because I used to have a cigarette whenever I felt sad, basically. And it's like, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's how everyone starts. They get old, they get down in life, and then you just find cigarettes.
A lot of people, some people it's alcohol, some people it's worse, like heroin. But you know, it's like the thing is, the way I see it, like, pick your poisons. If you're gonna be addicted to something, don't be addicted to something that's gonna like do you massive amounts of harm. So, for example, like crack. It's like, for me, like, yeah, smoking's not good, but I don't smoke every day. In fact, I don't smoke a lot at all. It's like, it's usually when I go out. Sad cigarettes are the best cigarettes, Klepto, exactly. It's like, I've got BPD, and a massive part of BPD is depression. So when I'm depressed, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how addiction is. It's a vice. It's something that makes you feel better that shouldn't make you feel better. Is the point I'm making? Like, it's like, I'm not saying that, but there is something very therapeutic that in what Klepto said. Like, when you're sad, if you go and smoke with have a cigarette with like either your friend or just by yourself, sometimes it can clear the mind. But I'm not condoning you all start smoking. I'm just saying that that's why I do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I sometimes smoke cigarettes. Shoot me. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things. Like, I don't like smoking cigarettes around the kids, which is why I use an e-cig most of the time. So that's why I vape instead.
Yeah.
Because I've got two kids to think about. It's like, I don't want them breathing it in. It's like, if I'm gonna go out and get drunk and I'm gonna have some cigarettes, then that's fine. Because I don't go and get drunk with my children. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, do you mind me walking into this nightclub with my baby strapped to my back? Is that okay? God, can you imagine? I'm just playing on, it's Fiesta on Ghost Town, and I'm sure I just died and almost fell through a wall. I've had this really annoying little cough now for ages. But it's not getting worse. It's just not getting better or anything either. It's not like even bad. It's not even chesty. It's just annoying. Like, I don't feel unwell. I'm just like, it's just there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, but then this time of year I get allergies as well. I get allergies from hay fever. So of all the things in this world I could be allergic to, it's fucking flowers.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you take down this man? Just throw some daisies at him.
Yeah.
Throw some daisies at him and he'll just scream. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think my toddler's still awake. What's the matter, Esther? She's trying to get my attention. She's shouting something, but it's not English. It's absolute gibberish. She tends to do this though. She's 3, so she'll say something in absolute gibberish, but she thinks I understand her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea what it is. Like, it took me ages to work out when she's saying she wants crisps. She goes, I want Fwippies. Fwippies. Because she can't say Crispies. So she goes, Fwippies. And I'm like, what's a Fwippy?
Yeah.
I don't know what a Fwippy is. It's like, don't look at me, kid. I don't know what Fwippies are. It's like, she can say Pringles and Pom Bears now, but she doesn't say Pom Bears. She goes, Chobe.
Okay.
But it means Pom Bears. Literally, when you have children, you have to learn to speak another language. Especially when they start learning to speak, because it's all wrong, but you kind of have to understand them or they'll start screaming.
Yeah.
It's cute though, but she's only 3 years old. I give her credit where credit's due. She's a clever kid. My favourite thing is that Beatrice has started saying no with me now. Like she's learned how to tell. She's under a year old and she's already learning how to tell me off. I'm like, so at this point I'm outnumbered by girls in my house 3 to 1.
Wow.
I've got 2 children and a partner, so I can imagine what this is going to be like when the kids are older.
See, it's opposite way around. It's the opposite way around in our house. My mom's outnumbered 2 men to 1 woman.
You see, my mum was the same. She had 2 boys, so it was 3 to 1. It was me, my dad, and my brother. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's funny how the next generation on from that, so me, yeah, that's exactly it, Klepto. I want Quippies, Dad. Why? Who's it? I want Quippies. It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know what that means, Quippies. It's like, I don't know, kid. It's like, at what point is it socially acceptable to throw a dictionary at them and go, learn to read? But it's no, she's funny. My favourite thing is that she tries this. My toddler. She tries this tactic every time in the morning. When she wakes up, she gets all cutesy, and then she's like, then rather than trying to get something nutritious for breakfast, she'll try and ask me for sweets or chocolate or crisps. And I'm like, you are not having that for breakfast. And then she'll get really upset. I'm like, I will literally go and make her waffles, or I'll go like some potato waffles, or I'll go make her toast, or I'll go make her like something like, she likes eggs, so she likes omelette and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And because I'm on a keto diet, which means I if I'm having breakfast instead of like, cause I tend to like it's like a high protein shake for my breakfast, just because the diet focuses on reducing carbohydrates, and it's basically protein and fat that you eat.
Yeah.
It's working because I've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, so it's working. And it's like it's doing its job. But it's like she'll try and get me to give her something else. Like, I'll have gone and made her like an omelette, or I'll have gone and made her something really nice, and she'll go, no, I want Crispies and milk. It's like, no. And then it's mummy, and I'm like, all right, here we go. This is where she goes to make out that I'm a monster to mummy.
Like all kids do.
So, and then she'll say no, and then she comes back to me and asks me again. I'm like, I said no 5 minutes ago. What makes you think I'm going to say yes now just because you've screamed?
When I went to my brother's, for that barbecue on that Sunday.
Yeah.
We actually all measured ourselves, how much we weigh.
Yeah.
I weigh like 14.1 stone.
Oh, right. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
But yeah, it's not bad because I'm like 6 foot, so I'm tall more than some. So I've got the height to carry it.
Yeah, you're like an inch taller than me.
Yeah, so I'm like 5'9", 5'9", 5'10", 6 foot or whatever I am. I'm
I
not
think last time I
tall,
checked,
I'm
I'm sort
tall
of.
enough to carry it.
I think I'm 5'10", 5'11". Last time I checked, I literally can't remember. But I usually measure it against my friend who is 6 feet tall, and I'm like, yeah, it's like there's about an inch difference. Um, there or thereabouts. I wouldn't be able to say I'm not that precise, but it's like what I find weird is the fact that my brother got like genetically, I think he should have been taller than me. I'm the tallest member of my immediate family.
I am the tallest one in my family right now.
I don't understand that though because my brother got all the genes. Klepto. See, Klepto's really tall, so he's like you're all short. It's like
Yeah, see, I'm tallest in my family, but I'm the youngest.
you see, that's I thought my brother was going to be taller than me, but he stopped growing. He stopped growing, and he's like, I want to say he's like 5'5".
Who's oldest?
Me, I'm 3 years older than him.
You know, I reckon it is then, because this is happening with me.
Hmm.
I reckon the youngest is the tallest.
See, I'm the oldest, but I'm way taller than he is.
I reckon the youngest is always going to be the tallest.
See, I would say that with him, he's stopped growing. He stopped getting taller.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, but it's weird, because but my parents aren't tall at all. Like I'm much taller than both my parents, and they're about his height. Now, what's weird about that is that I think that because my dad's brother is like 6'7".
Yeah.
And my dad's brother is massive, but my dad is short, and I'm like, it's weird because my dad, his sister, and his younger brother are all really short, and then his two older brothers are like six. One's like 6'7" and one's like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so how come I'm taller than my dad? I'm like, well, I must have just got a bit lucky. Like, I was just a little bit taller. I was like, I must have got lucky, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, do I want to be taller? Not really. I'm quite comfortable. But it's like, it's interesting because I just find it weird because my brother was like, he's always been short. My brother, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I was short of my brother until I was short of my brother.
I know it.
until now.
I thought he was legit going to be taller than me, just because, and then suddenly he just stopped growing, and I was like, it's like I don't really understand why it's such a big thing being taller, but I find that a weird concept. It's like being taller is something to brag about. I mean, I guess, but like, also, I just find it weird. A weird thing. People talk about height like it's like a big thing. Do you know what I mean?
To a lot of people, it is.
I know. I just find it a really weird thing. It's like literally you can't help that genetically. You are as tall as your genes will allow you to be. Right. So it's like when people sort of judge people for being short, it's like, or tall. Some people get picked on for being really tall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of think, well, they literally can't help that. Why is height such a big deal when people can't help it? Maybe it's like don't get me wrong. I've never once been picked on for my height because it's like I'm slightly above average height, but not by much. Like, you know,
That's the thing, though. Like a lot of people won't pick on someone who's taller because they get threatened by the height.
now listen, right? You should never ever bully a short person, and the reason for that is because think about it, their head height it could be at your heart level. If they headbutt you hard enough, you're dead.
Because to a lot of people, height is threatening to a lot of people.
See, what I find threatening is if somebody puts pineapple on pizza.
No, a lot of people find that threatening.
Because if you put pineapple on pizza, then there's something fundamentally incorrect about you. It's like
Is that before or after you find out someone doesn't like pizza?
if you don't like pizza, I don't trust you. It's like when someone says it's like someone goes, I hate dogs. It's like unless they've got a traumatic fear of dogs, like, you know, if something's happened to them, like they've been bit by a dog, okay, you know what I mean?
I don't mind dogs, but I'm just like
Yeah.
that's like bit afraid of them.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're gonna do when you're barking at you. You never know what you're gonna do.
It's like that's it. That's what I mean. But like some people, it is that uncertainty. But it's like there's some people who just don't like dogs for no reason. Like, there's somebody I work with. She's like, "Oh, I hate dogs." I'm like, "Why?" Just hate them. I'm like, "Well, okay." It's like we've got people on. For example, where I work, we when we have like a good day or we're celebrating, we get Papa John's pizza. Because we are literally on Ecky Road, round the corner from Papa John's, right?
Yeah.
So the whole company phones up and goes, "We're putting a big order in for this lunchtime. Can we get like, I don't know, 50 pizzas for the whole like floor, because there's like 2,000 of us and there's about 500 in my department, right?"
Yeah.
I don't know how many they order. They order enough, and it makes the company plenty of money. As in, the Papa John's pizza must be like, holy crap, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's like one thing this same person did who said this about dogs is, we have 2 vegans on our team, and Papa John's offer plenty of vegan pizza options, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they have vegan pizza, they have vegan cheese, and they have vegan like pepperoni.
Yeah.
So and trust me, as somebody who has tried it, I actually prefer the vegan, because I have the vegan pepperoni because I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And so I had the vegan cheese, just out of interest. And you know, it's
Yeah.
really nice. And this person she was like, "Oh no, I'm not," because obviously the rule was like, you know, you got to share pizzas anyway. Do you know what I mean? No one's getting a pizza each.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, okay, but I'm not sharing with anyone who's a vegan. I don't like." And she was like, "I don't want meat on my pizza, but I'm also not having vegan." And she's like, "Why?" It's like, "I don't like vegans. Don't like vegan food." And she's like, "Have you ever had vegan cheese?" She's like, "No, don't like it." It's like, "But how do you know you don't like it if you've never tried it?" "Don't want it. Don't like it." And she was being like really arsy about it. So the vegans basically didn't get to have vegan pizza
Oh God.
because she was making it difficult, and then she told the vegans that they were making it difficult when there was just her. The only person who had a problem with eating vegan was her. Like, we all didn't care. Like, you know, we were just like, "Yeah, well, I'll share a vegan pizza with whoever." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she made it so difficult because she was the last person who needed to share to make an even, you know, make it an even distribution, and there was just anyway. Long story short, she was like being really difficult about it, and she's this person who hates dogs, hates vegans, and she's also just not a nice person, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Very judgmental. Very judgmental for somebody who's grown up in an age of like non-judgment. Like, she's 19 and she's really judgmental, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, this is somebody I worked with. I remember this is somebody I worked with, and that's my only memory of working at that place. Really, is how rude she was to the people who were vegans. And that's when I decided I didn't like her, because I was like, there was no need for that. She was just being difficult. Also, Klepto, that's fair enough. Like, if you're scared of dogs because you've got a vivid memory of almost being attacked by a dog, that's totally fair. That's fine. Like, you know, that's what I was talking about. Unless you've got a valid reason, that's a valid reason. It's like, I'm one of those people. It's like, we've got a dog. It's Chloe's dog. Chloe chose the dog. It's a Chihuahua.
Oh, them real loud, barky ones.
Not the really tiny ones.
Ah.
Not the really, because an actual Mexican long-haired Chihuahua is about the size of a Jack Russell.
Alright.
So they're actually not, because the ones you're thinking of are the teacup Chihuahuas, the ones that are tiny. So they're actually not proper Chihuahuas. The proper Chihuahuas, the Mexican long-haired Chihuahua, which is more like, again, size of a Jack Russell, looks like a Chihuahua but fluffy, like really hairy.
Yeah.
And he's adorable, don't get me wrong, but I said I wanted a cat as well. Now,
Yeah.
Chloe had Ted, the dog, before we met.
Yeah.
And Ted's great. He just pees on the floor a lot, even though he's toilet trained. He just likes to pee on the floor in the kitchen because he's like, I don't like it if it's cold or wet outside, so he wheezes on the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying because you can't see it on the floor, then you stand in it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's a good dog, but I wanted a cat. I want a black cat called Salem.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Now you sort of make you try and get it to talk.
oh yeah, yeah. It's like it's like I've always had cats growing up as well as dogs. I've had a cat and a dog
Oh yeah,
growing
I've
up,
always had cats growing up.
and it's like, but it's talking my partner around into let's have a cat as well, because she's like, well, what if the dog doesn't like it? I'm like, well, the dog's gonna have to suck it up.
See, I've got a rule.
Yeah,
A house without a cat isn't an actual house.
I see. I grew up with a cat always in the house. Wow, okay,
Yeah.
Sabrina Klepto says, yeah, exactly. That's the reference. I want the cat to be called Salem because of Sabrina.
Yeah.
I grew up
So,
watching Sabrina.
cat.
He's like, wow, okay, Sabrina. I'm like, that's the point. That's where I got the name from. I mean, I like Luna as well. Luna is a nice name. But I also wanted to call, if I have another daughter, I want to call her Luna, so it's a bit difficult. This is what I was talking to Chloe about, because we're intending on having another child at some point, so 3 in the end, 3 kids. And we were talking about what would we call the third one, and I said, well, the names I like for girls that we haven't used are Morrigan, Morgana. I like Lilith, Luna, and there's a few other names that I quite like as well. And it's like I like Guinevere, things like that. But it's like for boys, it's like, and I'm like, it's really weird one, but I like since calling my if we ever have a son, apparently calling him Lucifer is off the table, so I can't call him Lucifer.
I would say it is.
Oh, it should. I don't think it should be off the table, because if I could legally, if I could change my name without my partner judging me, I would have literally changed my first name to
I
Lucifer
would
by
say
now.
it is because I'm sure he's gonna get funny looks if he's got that name.
Well, you know, if his dad's a Satanist, which is, you know, hi, me, I'm a Satanist. It's like, yeah, he called his son Lucifer. What do you expect? It's like, I mean, apparently, so I was like, okay, can we go with another demon like Belial or, you know, Beelzebub, Asmodeus? You know, there's plenty of other names we can go with. And she's like, no, we're not calling our child after a demon. And I'm like, fine.
I suppose you could do worse than name your child after a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my kid Dark Magician. I'm gonna call my kid Karibo. It's like, yo, you want to hang out with Karibo today? No, man, he's weird.
Or you just
I'm not calling my child Gabriel Klepto.
or you just call your child
I'm not a big fan of the Archangel Gabriel. Nathan. I like unusual names. I like so from where my family's from in Scotland, I like Lachlan as well. Lachlan. It's a traditional Scottish name. But my cousin recently had a child called Lachlan, and I was like, you stole my fucking name, Claire. How dare you?
called what?
Lachlan. It's a Scottish name. And I was like, well, that's something else. Oh, triple kill, nice. That's something I was like, I'd be willing to call my kid Lachlan, like, because that's a callback to my heritage, right? But then my cousin decided I'm gonna call my baby Lachlan, because last time I saw her at Hard Rock Hell Festival, we were talking about baby names, and it's like, well, what were you gonna call your daughter if she was a boy? And I was like, well, I liked Lachlan because, again, Lucifer was off the table. And it was and so you can call her Fanny. No, I'm not calling her. I'm near calling her Fanny Klepto. No worries. But it's like it's interesting. It's like I was saying to like I was saying this to Claire, it's like there's a couple of boys' names I really like, but they're all unusual. So it's like Lachlan. I like instead of okay, if we're not calling the child Lucifer, then there's Lucius. I like. I like. There is a couple of names I really do like. So there's Lucius. There's what's that? What's that one? There's I'm trying to think what it is now. It's Tyrion after the character in Game of Thrones. There's Balder. I like. We actually did settle on we were going to call if Beatrice had been been a boy, we were going to call him Odin. After the Norse god of knowledge, the All Father.
There is one name I would find hilarious to hear someone's son be called.
Which is
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Just call your son SpongeBob, like what?
No, Lucius. Lucius Klepto. And then there's and it's like, what was the other name we liked? There's quite a few interesting ones that we do like, but it's like and I just can you imagine that? Like, what are you naming your kid? SpongeBob.
That'd be hilarious.
What am I naming my kid? I'm naming him Perry Platypus.
Who's the arch nemesis of?
Oh, for God's sake. And it's like, but honestly, like, it's interesting, like, the discussion around baby names. It's like, I mean, I once got fed up of people misspelling my name, and I was gonna I was actually gonna legally have my name changed at one point.
Wait, how do you spell Aaron?
It's Arran. It's the Scottish spelling.
I think I usually spell it O-N at the end.
Yeah, a lot of people do, and that's fine. It's just that mine's the Scottish spelling because it comes from the Scottish phrase of sleeping warrior, with the Isle of Arran, the sleeping warrior.
I thought there was only one spelling.
Oh no, there's Aaron, Arran, Erin. There's a lot of different. And it's like, it just depends on where it's from.
Yeah.
So with mine being a Scottish name, it's named after the Scottish Isle of Arran.
Alright.
And it's fine if people don't know that, because I don't expect people to know that.
One thing I find annoying about my name is when people spell it with one T instead of two.
Oh yeah, it's like, I get what you mean. That would annoy me.
Yeah.
It's like, the thing is, it's like people at work still can't spell my name right. It's literally on my fucking name tag. It's like, if you just adjust your eyes slightly down and go, oh, Arran. It's like at school I used to get called Aaron a lot. You know, Aaron. To a point where I stopped answering the register to Aaron, and I used to get told off for not answering the register. I'm like, well, they didn't call my name. Like, yes, we did. I went, no, you said Aaron. My name's not Aaron. I got in trouble for that, but then eventually they realised that I wasn't going to answer to Aaron, so they had to start learning my actual name is Aaron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's interesting though, definitely interesting. I've
had some interesting experiences with my name.
You see, I don't understand, because obviously I know your name, and I feel like your name is very hard to misspell.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. This is what I mean. Logic would dictate that it's one of the easier names in the name dictionary, if you like, to spell.
Especially when he's one of the most popular names in the world.
I know plenty of people with the same name as you, and I'm like, they all spell it exactly like you do.
Yeah, two T's like it's meant to be.
I know one that spells it with one T.
Well then they're weird.
I mean, granted, he's not from England. Do you know what I mean? And doesn't.
Well, if you spell my first name with one T, you're weird.
It's like. But what bothers me is that people just can't seem to. It's like it's got to a point where when people misspell my name, I don't even correct them anymore.
Like, I've had streams, so right, so my name Lord Arbiter.
Yeah,
Like, how would you pronounce it without me telling you?
Lord Arbiter,
Yes,
because it's the Arbiter from Halo.
yes.
What have you had? Arbiter?
Nope. I've got streams that call me Lord Arbiter.
Arbiter, Lord Arbiter.
Yeah, I've had them call me. I've got people call me Lord Arbiter because.
But the thing is,
they don't know it's a French word.
the word arbiter is in the dictionary.
Yeah, it's French.
Yeah, and the word it's like arbiter is a phrase that you would use to it's not a hard word. It's like you look at the definition of arbiter. I'm sure you know the definition of arbiter.
I've never looked it up, but the definition I know is the game character.
Yeah, it's like the word arbiter is it's used in a context where it's an old word and it was used a lot more in olden times, like the arbiter of this, the
yeah.
arbiter of that, like, you know, the arbiter of you. If something was an arbiter, it'd be the arbiter of something, much like the phrase
Yeah.
harbinger. So someone would be the harbinger of doom
Yeah.
or the harbinger of hope. The arbiter was also used in the same context, like someone or something could be the arbiter of something, and it's like.
Funny enough, it's
So-
mostly Americans that say it.
It's like, so an arbiter, for example, usually an arbiter refers to somebody in like a position of justice. So it'd be
Yeah.
like, the best way to describe it is like I was saying, it's like, so you could have somebody, the final, so you could say, I suppose, in terms of like, the judge in a court case is the final arbiter.
Yeah.
Because it's the same as like an adjudicator or a judge or authority.
Oh yeah.
So in other words, like so the dictionary definition, I will pull it up and I'll tell you exactly the dictionary word for word definition. Hang on. Arbiter, a person who settles a dispute or has the ultimate authority in a matter. For example, the Secretary of State is the final arbiter.
Yeah.
A person whose views or actions have an influence in a particular sphere. An arbiter of taste. So, for example, like the ringleader of a group, you could say is the arbiter of that group
Yeah.
because they have influence and authority. So, for
Yeah.
example, it's an old-fashioned word for basically kind of saying the person in charge of a particular group or a particular action.
Oh yeah.
So, for example, the arbiter in Halo context, you can see how that kind of fits in
Yeah.
because of its
Yeah,
ancient tradition as a leader for.
Yeah, because he becomes leader of the elites.
Yeah, exactly. He's a leader. And it's like. And that.
Right. It's mostly Americans, people, streamers from America who say Arbiter, who come to Lord Arbiter.
I will say, if you've not played Halo or you don't know, like, all the words, I like the word arbiter. So it's like. But it's like, I like the word arbiter just for a different context. So, like, I always said, like, it's like, I used to joke, we're talking about music. It's like, I'm the arbiter of taste here. Like, you know, like if someone's got, if I think people got a bad taste in music, I'm like, you're gonna listen to me. I've got a good taste in music, just to be a dick sometimes. But it's like, but the point I'm making is, it really isn't like it'd take 5 minutes for someone to literally type into Google arbiter, right? And they
Yeah.
press the little speech bubble, and the Google speech lady's gonna go arbiter.
Will it?
Yeah.
I should never tried that.
So, if I go to Google and type in arbiter
Yeah.
and definition, press the button here.
Arbiter.
Oh yes, it does.
And it's like, so it's like, even if you're, it's like, but the thing is, like, people can't say, well, it's like just the American pronunciation, because it
Yeah.
isn't. And the reason it isn't is because Halo is narrated by American people, and they say
Yeah.
Arbiter.
Yeah.
It's like I just find it weird. I find it weird. I'm very much of the belief that people. I don't know. I can't see. Arbiter. I can see how they get to that. I really can.
Yeah. Because it's not two T's, so they take it as one.
Yeah. AR then biter. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people call me Lord R.
Lord R.
Yeah. So Lord MAR. We don't even say the rest of it.
Yeah. It's like with me. It's like I've had someone call me Stay Wired before.
Stay wired.
Stay wired. It's stay weird.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't know the word weird, then you are weird.
Even though there's an E before the I.
Yeah. Someone said stay wired. I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm not staying wired. I don't do cocaine.
Yeah.
It's like stay wired. What's that mean? Fucking wired, mate. Just my god. Sometimes I just think there's people who are from English-speaking countries who speak English worse than people who've learnt English.
Yeah.
A lot of people I come across. Oh god. It's Friday night. I refuse to go to sleep early. I'm pretty sure my toddler's still awake over in the bed anyway. Chloe's asleep, but Esther's definitely still awake because the TV's still going and she's not complain. But then she might be asleep because she's not complained since the Disney film went off. This cough's annoying me now.
Wait, Disney's still on at this time?
Disney Plus. We've got Disney Plus.
Ah, that's why then.
Honestly, as a parent, Disney Plus is an absolute godsend.
Yeah, most parents can't afford it though.
It's true. It's just we luckily we're all right. Like our question whether it was affordable, but I thought, well, really, it's £6 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's £6 a month on top of everything else.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. But also, I won't lie, I do use it to watch the hero films as well, like Avengers and stuff.
Alright.
So you know, it's like I get some use out of it. And on top of that as well, I don't mind watching some Disney films because I did grow up with Disney films.
Oh yeah, you can't deny yourself the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I always tell people. Mr.
Mr. Mosby.
I was about to say, yeah, I keep saying Mr. Mosby is my spirit animal at work.
Mr. Mosby's hilarious.
It's like, and she's like, what do you mean Mr. Mosby's your spirit animal? I'm like, because if you look into his eyes, it looks like he's screaming all the time. It's like he might be smiling, but on the inside he's just screaming, always screaming, and you can look.
I like it when he sneaks up on them and he tries to when he's doing something, he goes,
Boys. My favorite one of my favorite ones is that scene where he's trying to teach London how to drive.
Oh, that is hilarious.
It's like, oh, I just grabbed the Prindle. The Prindle. Yeah, the Prindle. Look, PRNDL. Okay, well, why don't we just relax and put on the radio? Do you want am or fum? Why do I have to wear a seatbelt? It's the law. It's like by that, he's just like. Do you know that the actor who played Mr. Mosby got arrested for vehicular manslaughter?
Yeah.
He told those kids to stop running in his goddamn lobby. I think I know who he killed. I'm thinking he ran over Zack and Cody because they ran in his lobby. Again.
Wasn't very surprising.
It's like that's the episode that Disney were forced to take down. There's a hole in my hotel. Oh, there's also Esteban.
Oh, Esteban, yeah.
Esteban Julio Ricardo de la Soto Ramirez.
Yeah.
Or as he calls himself, El Diablo.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember another funny Mr. Mosby scene.
Every single scene with Mr. Mosby is absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, Mr. Mosby's comedy gold.
It's like that one. It's like where he's just like, well, good luck with that.
Good look at that.
Mr. Mosby, it's like there's a running joke between me and some of the people I work with about Mr. Mosby. Just we just keep sending each other pictures because I said that because of that comment I made about he looks like he's screaming behind his eyes. It's got to a point where if something happens that we're not like something happens at work where we're not happy with it, we just send each other a picture of Mr. Mosby. Usually zoomed in, with not in my fucking lobby underneath it. Or Jesus take the Prindle.
The Prindle.
Yes, the Prindle. Don't you mean the gear stick? No, the Prindle. Prndl. Oh. Oh, right. Why don't we just relax and put on the radio? Would you like or fun? I know that GIF. I've got it on my saved GIFs. It's just where Mr. E's going, I give up. I feel like Mr. Mosby needed A, a pay rise, and B, a long vacation. That man has been through some stressful stuff. I'm surprised that the boys didn't end up with Mr. Mosby needing therapy.
Sounded like it were close. I like Sweet Life on Deck for funny.
Oh, Sweet Life on Deck. I found Sweet Life on Deck to be weird. I was like, so it's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but they're all trapped on a boat. This is literally a horror film. It's like this is
What for Mr. Mosby it was.
This is literally a horror film. This is where Mr. Mosby finally kills the boys.
I love the first episode.
I can't remember it very well.
Whenever he's expecting it to be a really fun boat ride, and then Zack and Cody show up, and he just literally just throws himself off board. This knows they're coming on board. He throws himself off board in an instant.
He just throws himself overboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, to be fair. I like Sweet Life. I also get a lot of watching again the hero films on Disney Plus. I also really like watching some of the classic Disney films, you know, like Mulan and stuff, Lilo and Stitch, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, like Kim Possible's another good one.
See, I've not watched Kim Possible for a long time, but I used to love that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
I remember like all the kids shows I really liked, like there was sort of Kim Possible, Sweet Life, Danny Phantom,
Danny Phantom, yeah.
Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know whenever I'm gonna see the live action Kim Possible movie or not.
I forgot they were making one.
Yeah, but they make Kim Possible Asian.
Oh, have they? Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'll definitely watch it.
But they make Kim Possible Asian, even though the American flag is literally on the front of the school entrance.
I mean, she could be Asian American though. Like, you know, I mean, she could be just.
She doesn't. Yeah, but she doesn't look in the cartoon though, does she?
No, I suppose not. But what I trust with these kind of things is they've just picked the actress that they liked best for the role in terms of who gave the best performance. Like, you know, when they trialed them, and it's like, in my eyes, rather than be like, no, we can't cast a different race person as this person. It's like, I think it's like, to a degree, it's like, it's fine. If that person's the best person for the role, regardless of what race they are, they should get the role.
All I can say is she's gonna get a lot of hate if she doesn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is there's gonna be a lot of Kim Possible fans who are gonna be very precious about Kim Possible, but it's like, in terms of like concepts of like childhood films that are important to other people, it's like when they released Detective Pikachu, I was like, please don't ruin Pokemon.
Oh, I didn't even see Detective Pikachu because talking Pikachu is not my thing.
That's fine. I quite liked it. To be honest, I thought it was really entertaining. Um, and it was,
I
and it,
don't like the idea of a Pikachu that can speak full English sentences.
it's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like they explain why he can speak, and it's quite interesting. It's all down to something that Mewtwo did to it.
Oh,
Um, so and obviously he's it's like, I'm not going to go into the spoilers of the full film, but basically he doesn't just speak because he can. It's like he was given that power.
yeah.
Um,
I preferred Pikachu I grew up going pick a peek.
yeah, no, that's true. And a lot of people didn't like the idea of a talking Pikachu. They really didn't. But then I watched it and I was like, actually, this is okay. This is fine. Um, it's like when before they revised the design for Sonic. The original live
Yeah.
action Sonic looked utterly horrifying.
Yes, it did.
But they fixed him. They fixed him. Granted.
Well, I've got enough complaints. They did, yes.
But I'm glad they listened, because if they'd released that film, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
So I grew up with Sonic. Like, some of my favorite games growing up were Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. So if they'd ruined Sonic with the initial design of him, I was really disappointed. I was like,
Yeah.
why you got to do Sonic like this, man? You know what I mean? Like, just you've got like literally 100 video games and a live action and a CGI series to take reference from, and why have you made this? When I looked at it, I'm like, it's not. You tell me it's not like they can go. It's hard to render Sonic in 3D. There's literally several video games where Sonic is rendered in 3D.
Yeah.
It's like you could literally have just picked any of those for a base for the design, and it would have been fine. But instead, you tried to make him realistic with superhuman features, really, really weirdly human teeth and human eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad they changed it, because I would have not have seen the film. You know what I mean? I would not have seen that film if they hadn't changed him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, Doctor Robotnik as Jim Carrey as Doctor Robotnik's actually. I mean, yeah, he doesn't look like him, but he's really good.
Oh yeah.
Like, he plays the role super well.
Yeah.
And I think he was the right choice. Like, yeah, sure, he's not a big fat ginger guy with a bald head, right? But he is that right level of crazy and that level of goofy for it to work.
Yeah.
Personally, I love Jim Carrey. Though I've got a soft spot for Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey is absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's massively underrated. I say underrated. He's not underrated, but people are like, oh yeah, that guy. But it's like he doesn't just do comedy either.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen him in a really good horror film called The Number 23.
Never heard of that.
It's not a very well known film, to be fair. It wasn't like a major release. I saw it on Netflix it's not there anymore, but it was recommended to me through Netflix. And basically, he's like a conspiracy theorist who gets obsessed with the number 23 because he sees it everywhere. It's like, this happened 23 years after this. This happened, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. Like, it's like him sort of descending into madness, becoming obsessed with this idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant film. It's like, it's not just your typical Illuminati confirmed shit. Like, it's more like let's have this that's interesting. Somebody that one of my friends knows has been reported missing. That's
Okay.
somebody who one of my friends knows has been reported missing.
Really?
Yeah, he was last seen leaving work this afternoon, but no one's heard from him since.
Oh.
I got reported missing once.
Did you?
Yeah, I was a missing person at one point. It's a bit more light-hearted. Basically, I was living with. I'd moved in with my grandparents temporarily, right? My grandma, because my grandpa had
Oh
passed
yeah.
away. I wasn't in a relationship or anything, and I went on a night out with my friends. And I went home with a girl, but I told my friend my phone had died,
Oh yeah, I remember you saying
and
that.
I said, "Can you please inform?" Because bearing in mind he's my best friend, he knows my parents and my grandparents. Like, he's met everybody in my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, "Can you please just drop her a message, even if it's first thing in the morning, just saying Aaron's going to be home later. He's gone. Is stopping over at someone's house, right?"
Yeah.
Like I just said, just tell her I'm crashing at a friend's house, right?
Yeah.
Um, he said he'd done that.
We didn't.
No, he was too drunk to remember even me asking him, apparently.
Oh God.
So my phone died. I said, please do this because I don't want my family to worry. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then I woke up to the person I was hanging out with at the time, shall we say. She went, I've just seen your Facebook photo, and people are saying you're missing. So I ran to the nearest, like, payphone, rang
Yeah.
home and went, did Jacob not message you? My phone was on. They're like, no, we've been worried sick. We've called the police. We've called this. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, so bearing in mind, at this point, I was single, and I was like, so you have so little faith that I could meet somebody on a night out and go back home with them, that rather than think maybe he met someone, you think I might be dead in a ditch somewhere.
Apparently.
So I was like, well, thanks for believing in me, guys. I was like, cheers for that. But yeah, this person is not like him to go missing at all. I don't know how she knows him. I don't know if she goes out with him. I don't know. Anyway, I've shared it on Facebook. But basically, this person has gone missing. Can't get in touch with him. Won't say what's going on. Is now on the missing person list. I'm like, oh Jesus, what's? I mean, hopefully he's okay, but it's a bit weird for him to just disappear like that.
Hmm.
It's like no one knows where he is, and it's like, has no one seen him since he left work? I mean, he left work what, at least 6 hours ago, and no one's seen him in 6 hours. Like, not one person who, because it's not like it's not like he's a no one. Like within her group of friends, I know he hangs out with her group of friends. So everyone knows.
Yeah.
So all the people who would be like going down to it's a pub. Like if everyone's going down to the pub on a Friday night, if he was there, they'd go, "Oh yeah, he's down here." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or or whatever. Or it's like if someone had gone, "Oh, I saw him going into a pub," or "I saw him in the shops." Like you'd expect somebody to have seen him.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Um. Um. That's really bizarre. Um. That is really strange. I was just like, I'm saying I was just having trying to read about it. Then I'm like, what? You know what I mean? When I've read that, I'm like, what? Just finding out that this person's disappeared. Um, let's have a look here. I'm just having a look, see if there's been any news about him, because that's really weird for him to disappear.
Hmm.
Uh, let me have a look here. I'm just looking into it a little bit. Um, I'm just having a quick read here. Yeah, it's don't worry. Oh, don't worry, Klepto. It's all good, man. Yeah, it's like I'm just having a read into it now, and like, I mean, I'm sure I've met this guy before, but I just can't place him. It's no, it's weird that though he's not been. No one's heard from him since he left work, and that was hours ago. Um, let's just hope he's had a bad day and ended up down the pub. That's what I'm saying. Let's hope it's nothing sinister and it's literally he's had a bad day, he's gone down the pub. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping it's that simple. I do worry about people though. You know, you guys know me. Are you still there, Lord Arbiter?
Yeah, I'm still here.
No worries.
I'm just doing this.
No worries. I'll say it's interesting though because I keep reading into this and I have no idea what could have happened to this person to him. But I don't know them personally. Like I know who they are, and I'm sure I've seen them in the pub a few times. Like I've never had an interaction with this guy, I don't think. But he's like vanished, just straight up vanished. Like no one knows where he is, and it's been like 6 or 7 hours. It's like that's not good. Like although I find it hard to believe, it's like you're telling me nobody's seen him. Well, he didn't just disappear off the face of the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God. But yeah, it's a little bit of a worry. I'm gonna keep an eye on this because obviously I've shared it because I know he knows a lot. I know this person knows a lot of my friends. I don't know him, but if he's a friend of a friend, then I consider him a friend. If that makes sense. It's just a bit bizarre for him to disappear. I just don't know what this guy's living arrangements are. I don't know if he lives alone, with his family, with a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know if he's in a relationship, like if he's got like a significant other, or if he or she's seen him, or you know what I mean. And I'm like, well, but then he's got a lot of friends that we've got a lot of mutual friends, and I'm like, why has nobody seen him? That's the problem. Like, where did he go? Like, and on top of that, what worries me is why didn't he tell anybody where he was going? If he was gonna go somewhere, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what worries me. Is the intent behind that. It's like if you disappear and don't tell anybody where you're going, it's like it's usually not good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Then I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Like I'm not saying it's interesting being cold. I'm like I want to know whether he ends up okay. That's definitely strange behaviour based on what I'm reading. Like in terms of it's not like him to do that. I just hope he's not in any trouble. Like he's not hurt or anything. You know what I mean? Like I hope nobody's like jumped him or something. That's what I worry about. Like, has he been attacked? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's been attacked or anything. I don't know if he suffers from any mental health issues. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how stable this person is or unstable they might be. So like, why? So them going missing is like, I don't know. It's I don't like the fact that no one knows where somebody is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's literally like the worst feeling. It's like because there's people that care about this person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're playing this game of snipers on Blackout, and
Yeah.
I like snipers, but not on this map.
Team Snipers is a fun game. It's my favourite game mode.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I do like Team Snipers. I just don't like Team Snipers on this map. I just don't think the sight lines are long enough.
That's why you get shotty snipers on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if I had a shotgun, I prefer close range on this map.
Hmm.
Oh, for God's sake. Got something in my eye. So it's probably dust.
Well, I can tell that wasps are out again
Wasps? Why wasps?
because I had my window open earlier today and a wasp flew in through the window.
Oh God, I don't get me wrong. I don't have anything particularly against wasps. I just hate it when I have to deal with them.
Yeah.
I just don't like having to deal with them. I've never been stung by a wasp. This is really interesting. I've never been stung by a wasp or a bee, but I've been stung by jellyfish 4 times.
I've been stung by both.
Wasp and bee.
Yeah.
What about a jellyfish?
I don't go outside of my room. What do you reckon?
What I find weird is, like I say, I've not been stung by a wasp or a bee, but I have been stung by a jellyfish on 4 occasions. I've been stung more times by something when I've gone swimming.
Wait, where did you go on holiday for that to happen?
Spain.
Oh, that's bad, and I've never been outside of UK.
Oh, really? You see, I'm going to Spain again next year.
If you can.
Yeah, well, we should be. I mean, holiday bookings are being accepted for next year now. It's like I'm going to Scotland in October.
Alright.
Um,
Yeah, believe it or not, I've never been outside of UK. Believe it or not.
some people haven't. Have you been to Scotland before?
No.
Oh, so in terms of you've never left England.
No. The furthest I've been is Great Yarmouth.
Ah, fair enough. So you've never been like.
No.
Because
Furthest I've been.
when you said UK, I'm like, does that mean he's been to Ireland and Scotland, or
No, not that far.
See, I've been everywhere in the UK except for Wales. Oh no, I went to Cardiff once. But aside from that, and then other places I've been, the Canary Islands, Spain. That's about it. I was gonna, because I wanted to go to.
There are places I would like to go,
Oh yeah.
but money.
See, I'd like to go to Greece, Japan, Egypt. I'd like to go to Bali and India as well. I'd like to go to India because, as I say, I practice Satanism, but I do practice Buddhism also, and there's a lot of like temples.
Yeah.
In that are very important to the Buddhist path in India that I'd like to see.
Oh yeah.
It's like let's see, let's have a look here. I'm just checking up on this person if there's been any news.
You're not gonna hear anything for a couple of days.
Well, it depends if he just turns up. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I get good. It's not necessarily that. But like mainly when I've been abroad, it's been with my family, Klepto.
Yeah.
So it's like my family took me abroad. My parents got good paychecks, not necessarily me. I've not been abroad since I've been self-sufficient, which is why I'm going to Spain next year. I'm going to Scotland at the end of this year because I got engaged to Chloe in Edinburgh. So we're going back to Edinburgh. We go every October for like a weekend. It's not that expensive, to be honest, by comparison. It's like for 2 nights in a very good hotel that we've picked, it's about £140, which we can save up for.
Well, I'm curious. What's further away, Great Yarmouth or London?
London.
Ah, then the furthest place I've been is London. Then.
Yeah, London's Great Yarmouth. I think is pretty close. It's like an hour's drive. It's like Skegness is like an hour's drive away.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I've been to Skegness and I've been to Great Yarmouth. I've been to my favourite seaside town in England is Whitby.
Oh yeah, never been.
I like to go if I can end of October for the Whitby Goth Festival.
Alright.
It's also where Dracula was written as well.
Is it?
Well, it's Dracula. Part of Dracula is based in Whitby. Super interesting because they've got a museum dedicated to Dracula because of course they have.
Yeah, so the furthest place in UK I've been is London. Then
I've only been to London twice, and it was to go see Les Miserables.
I only went twice to see Miku.
Oh, you went to see Miku? Ah, fair enough. I went to see, Les Miserables the musical.
No.
I'd say it's a musical I've been to see twice on the matinee in London. So, it's basically like it's musical theatre. So it's kind of like a concert but with a story. And if you want to think of it that way, and it's like I've really enjoyed that. I need to go see Les Miserables again because the last time I went was 2014, and I like Les Mis. I mean, it's an expensive show to go and see. That's for sure, because it's one of the most popular theatre shows in London.
Yeah.
But I love theatre. So like, if there's a good play or a good musical that comes through Sheffield, I always go.
Yeah.
Like me and Chloe went to see Rock of Ages, which is a really good musical. And I want to see, if I can, the end of this year is the Rocky Horror Picture Show around Halloween time. That's a really good musical as well. It's good fun. I'm hoping we get a decent production of Little Shop of Horrors as well, which is another musical I like. Little Shop of Horrors, which would be fantastic to see live. But it's like, I say, I was a bit of a theatre kid. I used to love that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, so you know on like the 23rd when the Halo Infinite gameplay gets revealed.
Yeah.
Are you going to be streaming the event?
Depends what time it is.
I think it's set. Let me check. I believe it said it was 5 p.m.
Oh, UK time.
5 p.m. Mall time. 5 p.m. one. I'm sure it's at 5 p.m. someone's time.
It might be American time, so it might be like 10 for us.
Yeah. Let me just check. Just trying to think. Well,
what day is that happening again?
It's 23rd.
So that's Thursday or Wednesday or?
Don't know. Let me see. Halo Infinite.
I'm hoping it's not Wednesday because I've got a yoga class on Wednesday nights.
Gameplay reveal. Gameplay reveal date.
On the 20th.
July 2020, but we know it's 23rd because that's been confirmed.
Yeah, and they've said that it's going to be campaign mostly, but they said and more, so I'm expecting some multiplayer as well.
So, real time.
23rd, it's Thursday, next Thursday.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll try and I might stream it. But I don't know. Can you get? Can you stream those events?
I've seen people do it.
Like just reacting to it.
Yeah, like reacting to it. Yeah.
Nice.
So, but I would look into it still.
Yeah, I mean, I know, for example, you can do it on YouTube and it won't get taken down.
I know there's someone else I watch called DB Geek.
Yeah, DB Geek. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be streaming it.
I'll probably stream it if I can. If it's at a time I can do it.
But if you're gonna stream, mate. I'll watch you and talk to you in Discord while watching.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to it because I've been waiting forever. I feel like I've been waiting forever for Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
They've taken what I appreciate is that they've taken a step back and taken a long time to develop something. You know what I mean? What I respect about it is that they've taken all this time.
I was right.
What time is it?
Right, it says here. On Thursday, Halo Infinite and more will start in a live stream due in 2 weeks on Thursday, 23rd July at 5 p.m. UK time.
5 p.m. UK time. You see, I don't know what time I finish work next Thursday. Because if I finish... What?
Yeah, and it'll be midday Eastern, 9 a.m. for Pacific.
Yeah.
Microsoft, and then it doesn't say anything else.
Well, the thing is,
5 p.m. for us.
I might not be able to stream it live because I might be working. However, I might still react to it on stream later.
Yeah.
Just go, I'm going to watch... I might not watch it until I get on stream and be like... I'm going to watch this for the first time and
Well, if you are going to... if you are going to stream it at a reasonable time, let me know and I'll hold off watching it until you do.
Yeah, no worries. As I say, with it being Thursday, I'm not sure because I usually don't stream on a Thursday. But what I might do is not stream on Wednesday, and then stream on Thursday night instead. Then what I might do is react to that, then go and just do a Halo stream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause it would seem appropriate, wouldn't it, to watch the Halo trailer, then play some Halo 3 afterwards?
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm having a lot of fun playing Halo 3. Like all these memories are coming back.
I might even stop playing MCC again with these challenges on. What if you were season rank up boxes?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So now they're in, I might actually stop playing MCC again.
Yeah, I mean,
properly.
I'm just glad that they introduced Halo 3 on PC, which they said years ago would not happen.
Because that's just removed the grind completely.
Yeah, it's like what I like is that I see why they've done it, which is that effectively it's like it's due to popular demand.
And because the only really fast way, to actually rank up is firefight.
Yeah.
Which gets tedious after a few rounds.
Yeah, it's like, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
But yeah, I'm just finishing, season 1 off to get my Jun armor for Reach.
Oh, yeah.
And then to start on season 2.
Oh, because you unlock it with doing stuff. Yeah, for Reach, you actually have to do, like, milestones, don't you, to get your armor, rather than, like, use credits?
No, you use season points.
Yeah, you use your points instead of like that old credit system.
Yeah, I prefer the credit system.
I don't know which one I prefer, to be honest. Oh, I forgot this map. I love this map, Orbital. God, this came out with ODST.
I know where the skill is on this map.
On Orbital?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's up on that ledge, isn't it?
You need to be forced to do it, though.
Oh, yeah, it's up on that ledge. You go up and it's... Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to really time it. You've got time to grab.
I remember that now.
You've got time to grab, like, really well.
So, there's the big drop in the middle. It's like there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up there. You were looking at where it was.
Yeah, I remember that. Now, God, that's some memory. That I was like, holy crap! Yeah. Like,
I remember that. I remember that off the top of my head.
That's what I mean. It's like I found it. It's like assembly. It's on top of the thing, isn't it? On top of the main, the middle bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how I remember this.
I remember where most of the things are in Halo.
Now I do as well. Like the campaign skulls as well.
Yeah, I remember pretty much 99% of things in Halo games are...
I remember, right, because I unlocked the Hayabusa armor, right, and I unlocked that before most of my friends did online.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, how did you get that skull? And it's like, you know, the one where you have to jump through the rings on the Covenant. That IWHBYD, I would have been your daddy's skull.
Yeah.
And people were like, how do you memorize this? And it's like, the amount of people who were like, I'd run them through, and their minds would be blown because I'm like, right, just stay here, I'm going to jump through these hoops.
Yeah.
And they'd just be like, what?
I looked them that bingo up on YouTube.
Oh, I did, but then like I memorized it, but I don't remember it now. It's the one that makes it go do 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 do, like from Halo.
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, I would never gonna memorize that. Too much of a pain in the arse.
It's like I remember that, and then it's like I know that there's that. Obviously, on the first mission, the skull's up on that ledge. Then you've got the Black Eye Skull, which is where just before you're in that main sort of war theatre place, and it's up on the pipes. Then there's the other Silver Skull, which is in the in that bit where the drones are. You've got to drop onto that ledge.
Yeah.
And then on the Storm, you've got the one where it's on top of the cooling towers.
And you've got to be on Legendary.
Yeah. And then
And you've got no, it's not Legendary. It's
is it Heroic?
No, it's you've got to do it before you destroy the entire area.
Yeah, the AA Wraith has to still be up, and you have to jump on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the area that's real slow high, but you can't get it.
And then also there's on Savo Highway, it's like you got to jump on those rocks down in that little chasm to get them.
Yeah.
On the Fog Skull, you have to kill that one flood that jumps between the roofs.
Oh yeah, that's a pain in the arse to get.
Yeah, God, I remember all of these.
You have to really time your shot.
I can't remember the one on Cortana. I can't remember where that is.
I do.
Where's that one?
It's at these two.
Yeah, there's two, isn't there? Because it's gold and a silver per level.
So the first one we see, I think it's when you drop down and you see like, so you know that like little secret bit where you can go below and you see the gravity armor.
Yeah, it's there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's one just up top of that, but you've got really good parkouring.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now you've said it.
That's the first one.
Yeah, and the other one, isn't that like at the end when it's all blowing up?
No, before.
It's just before, isn't it?
Just before, but you've got to be really good at getting up there, otherwise you fall to your death.
Yep, again, it's up on that ledge. You got to jump on all those ledges to get it. I remember now.
Yeah, you got to get up to the purple bit where you're not meant to get to, and go
Yep.
all the way around.
Yeah, I remember now. And then the Covenant, the Thunderstorm Skull, the gold one, that's on that third pillar. Like
Yeah.
the one that you're not directed to. You just go up to the top and it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, it's all coming back now. And then the other one's the I Would Have Been Your Daddy's Skull on that level. We have to jump through the hoops. And then there was every level, as I remember, because I went through all of these skulls, and I got them all in like one night.
Yeah, I want to get the new one.
Oh, that you have to complete a challenge for that, don't you? If I remember.
Yeah, you've got to kill 343 flying enemies.
So basically, drones.
Yeah.
You just got to gun down all the drones.
Or jetpack groups.
Or banshees. Does that count?
This is flying enemies.
So because the enemy's technically flying because it's in a vehicle.
Yeah, so I should say it should.
Would now here's one. You know, in the mission where in Reach where you go into space.
Oh, that mission's so good. That's on Legendary, but then it's just a cave.
That one, that one there. Because I was, do they count as flying enemies? Because are they really flying if they're in space?
I guess you could try.
I'm just like, technically speaking, you could just grind that.
There's enough enemies to grind that to do that in like 2 runs.
A couple of runs.
Like, I'd say there's not enough enemies in that, and it would actually take you forwards because you've got to start that mission as well.
Or also you've got the second mission. Is it Rat's Nest on Halo 3? That'd be a good one to do it with the drones.
I'd say that's probably 3 to 4, but that's probably 5 to 6 runs.
You could just run in turn all the levels with flying enemies in it, and you get it.
If you can remember which ones they are, yeah.
Yeah, it's like in Reach. There's the one with the drones as well. But which one is it? I can't remember.
Well, if your DST has one that has decent amount of drones.
Yeah,
eh?
that's when you're going down into the thing with it to find the superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this now. Like finding the skulls was like, and it was amazing because my friend was like really wanted the Hayabusa armor, and I was like, and then there was this like whole meme within Halo of like, you suck at the game if you use Hayabusa armor. Because it's like, oh, everyone's got it now. It's like, yeah, but at first, if you had Hayabusa, people were like...
It depends on how you got it, I would say.
It's like, I got it by unlocking the skulls. Like, I did it the proper way.
I think if you got it through getting 1,000 gamer score, I think that was more the proper way, because it was more professional way of doing it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I did it when I got to get the katana and everything, you know.
Yeah, because like, I did it through 1,000 gamers score.
No, I remember that because obviously I did the full run. Like before they added more achievements, it was you had to get all the achievements in the base game to get stuff. I remember I had every single achievement in Halo 3 before any more came out.
Yeah, Abuser wasn't the base game achievements. It was any achievements you just had to equal to 1,000 gamers score.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's like that's why it was harder originally to do it.
I still to this day don't have all the original Halo 3 achievements because I could never get the goddamn Spartan Laser achievement.
Yeah, killing 2 with 1, that was...
In free for all.
Oh yeah. One thing I'll never understand is, I mean, I know it was a cross promotion with Dead or Alive to put Hayabusa armor in. Because of course it's based off a character in of Ninja Gaiden, which is obviously because they had Spartans in Dead or Alive 3.
Oh yeah.
Because they had Linda and Kelly in that as fighters, I believe.
Oh.
So they agreed to put the Hayabusa armor in Halo 3 as a kind of a nod that they asked for the Spartans to be in it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. But one thing that always bugged me was that they never put it in any other games, even though everyone loved the armor.
It is something to try.
Huh?
Put the Abuser armor on, but have the flaming helmet on.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Put the flaming helmet on, but we rested the Abuser armor on, the katana.
You can't put the flaming helmet. You have to have the body piece for the flaming, which is that one.
Do ya?
Yeah, Legacy is the body piece. Like you see how I've got that there, like that.
You just have to have the helmet on.
Oh no, you don't. Because if I take that body off and put the katana on, I've not got the flaming helmet anymore.
That's because you've got the Abuser on.
It's like because if you press chest, if you see I'm scrolling up them now. And then you go to that one where it says Legacy. That's how you get the flaming helmet in this.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, because in Halo 3, the original Halo 3, it was always tied to an EOD body piece as well. So, like, that's what it would look like, effectively.
Yeah.
Which is alright, I guess, but it's not my thing. I don't like the flaming helmet. It makes you a headshot target anyway.
I liked it because I got it for pre-order, because I got it like for getting it day 1, I think.
That was Reach.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah, I got it in when you got it in Halo 3, it was for all the Vidmasters.
Yeah. So I got it in Reach for pre-ordering, you know, the big £200 edition.
I got the Blue Flames, I think, for for it was a pre-order bonus anyway, but it wasn't that one. It was like it might have been a Bungie Day achievement or something.
Bungie Day achievement that will be.
The Blue Flames, yeah. I remember that. God, that was difficult.
Yeah, you had to. I can't remember what you had to do for that, but I don't think I tried.
And it's like it was armor effect, wasn't it? It's that one there, Eternal.
Yeah.
That's it. And then Legendary, that's the one you would have had.
Yeah.
It's like so. It was cool though. I wasn't a big fan of the armor effects. The only one I liked was Birthday Party for when you died. and I like Pestilence was okay.
That's the one I had for building to the £200 edition of each.
The inclement weather was cool as well.
Oh yeah, I had a lot. To get that, you had to be max rank in reach to get that.
Oh yeah. I preferred the Eternal, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm just gonna run to the toilet really quick.
It's all right. I'm gonna end the stream in a minute because I'm getting very tired.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's 1 a.m. and it's 1 a.m.
It's 1 a.m. Yeah. It's like. Do you know what I thought was interesting though?
What?
You know, in Halo 2 Anniversary.
Yeah.
You had the Mark V armor, and then
Yeah.
you had this Centurion here and Hoplite.
Yeah.
These were really interesting variations, but they were full armor variations, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
I liked the Hoplite, to be honest. I thought it was quite a cool looking armor, but it was in no other game, which I thought was really strange.
I'll quickly show you. You know what I did with my elite color.
Yeah.
So if you go to your Halo 3 customization.
Yep. I'm there now. Yeah, elite. Yeah.
And then change to your elite, and then go to color.
Yep.
So and then.
Was your primary blue? Is that right?
Dark blue, yeah.
That one there, yeah.
Primary with dark blue. That's light blue.
Is that blue, cobalt? It's blue. That one.
Click on the blues, and then I'll tell you which one.
So you've got sapphire, cobalt, and blue.
Blue.
Yep. And then the secondary.
Should be gold.
Yeah, that one there. Yep.
Right, click that. Yeah, click the gold on the secondary color, and then see. And then and then it will, and then mine would be all them, and then
Red, was it?
red with the third color for the little symbol on the right, on the left of me.
Ah, no worries. Thanks for joining us, Klepto. I'll be going off very shortly. Oh yeah, that's cool. I see what you did there. Yeah.
And then, but mine's the full miners set of armor.
Oh, the combat set, is it?
Yeah, the full miners set. Look, it looks like on the full miners set. It looks really good.
All right, let's see.
But that's what I did. It looks really good on the full miners set.
Ah, that's cool. I like that. That's pretty good. I'm hoping.
Which is the starter set. They had
Yeah.
a bit of combat.
I'm going to be interested to see how the elites look in Halo Infinite. I mean, they've got to be there somewhere.
Yeah, look, it looks really good done. Yeah, that's what
I like
did.
it. Yeah, I like it. I'm just popping my colours back in there. There we go.
Yeah, that's the color of my elite Halo 3.
Nice. What I find weird though, like I say, with the elites, it's like I wonder what they're gonna look like this time round.
Yeah.
I quite like the design of the anniversary Halo 2 anniversary elites. To be honest,
Yeah.
I thought they were quite well done. Like I love their armors in this. It's like it would be a shame in my eyes to not let people customize these. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it's down to what 343 want to do with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the stream here because I am getting very tired.
Yeah.
Thank you very much everybody for tuning in and watching. You guys all rock. You stay safe. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.